Alright, so this is a tweet from a small Twitter account, so why am I wasting time talking about this? Well, because it's a sentiment you may have heard from time to time, and it's not terribly uncommon among Marxist and socialist circles. Now, there's a lot I could go into with much of what this Comrade Oakes has said, but I'll just focus in on a few things. First off, at the end of this tweet, he states that markets are a sin. Now, this is odd because markets are just people. It's simply people who would like to acquire something and they're willing to give something up to acquire it. That's really all it comes down to. It also says in this tweet that this person wants to, quote, crush all authority everywhere, including authority of having to work to buy stuff from people who've needlessly privatized such property, end quote. So someone who works on something that you had nothing to do with, you're upset that you need to add some value to society. You're upset you need to do something worthy of being compensated so you can then compensate others when you take from them. You're upset that you don't get something from nothing. This is a very childlike way of viewing the world. If you produce something, and I walk by and claim it as common property and proceed to take the fruits of your labor, despite never having met you, never having worked with you, never engaging in any contract with you, I just walk by and haphazardly claim that what you produced belongs to everyone, and what I really mean is that it belongs to me, you would rightly call me out, and you could rightly defend what you produced with your own hands, your own energy, and your own mind, and you would be legitimately defending yourself from me, a thief. So in a similar vein, he goes on to say that, quote, buying and selling of anything is the highest form of totalitarianism. It's what permits capitalism to spring to life. It's what permits billions to die a miserable fate because what would be common property is withheld from them due to privatization, end quote. Now, the US, the vast majority of Europe, much of Asia, all of Australia, and there's plenty of other places, there is buying and selling of necessities on a consistent basis in those places, and where are the mountains of billions of corpses this person is referring to? I haven't seen them. But on the other hand, what have we seen when markets are outlawed and people are given rations of food by the state as they're waiting for the utopia to unfold? Well, it's odd. In the Soviet Union, in Cambodia, in Venezuela now, in Cuba, in North Korea, you actually see markets begin to form. Well, I mean, they're black markets because they're illegal, but nevertheless, people realize markets are a vastly superior way to meet the needs of people. Take North Korea, for example. The illegal markets that have formed in the DPRK, the government turns a blind eye to it because it would be impossible for them to do anything about it because such huge numbers of people are involved in these markets. And why are they involved with them? Because it's largely the only way anyone is able to eat more than 300 calories a day. If you have something someone else wants, and they have something you want, you trade with them and you're both better off. Voila, a market has been formed and prosperity has inched up a notch. So it's odd that this person is saying this and advocating Marxism at the same time, and demonizing markets at the same time, considering the fact that people who live under a regime that holds his values to be true, because these people are resorting to the very thing that this communist thinks causes the deaths of billions of people. Meanwhile, people who live under Marxist regimes are clinging for dear life to anything resembling a market just so they can stay afloat. But alright, moving on a bit. I'm not sure if this is a troll account. It could very well be one, but it doesn't matter much to me, because what this person says is often echoed by many Marxists and socialists anyway, and despite these people being outraged by so-called violence, their rhetoric is deeply steeped directly in violence. Throughout all of these tweets, it's the same old tired Marxist rhetoric and Marxian worldviews. Here it is stated that it's not immoral or even wrong to physically assault or kill people one disagrees with if such an individual in question has no redeeming values about them. In an anarchist society, they'd receive rehabilitation, but in a capitalistic one, their life is worthless and pathetic, end quote. Now, that's a bit of a ramble, but I've said it before. It's a famous quote. If you cut someone's tongue out, you don't prove them wrong. You only prove you're afraid of what they might say. Or another way to think of it is that resorting to violence only proves that you're intellectually bankrupt. So, as I said, this could be a troll account, in which case, good work. The only reason why I still felt like responding to some of this is because whether or not this is a troll account, it does accurately represent what many within Marxian and socialistic circles preach on a consistent basis. I just want to make that clear before anyone starts coming at me like, hey, this is obviously a troll. It's like, yeah, I understand the probability that that is potentially true. But anyway, they all seem to be upset with the fact that something doesn't come from nothing. They seem to be upset with the fact that there's give and take in life, and you should not expect everything you need to be handed to you if you are sitting idly by and doing nothing of value. They remind me of a child upset with a fish for not biting their hook on the end of their line. But that has to be it for now. Like and subscribe and share this video. It's greatly appreciated, and you have a good one.